Hey, this is Marius and welcome back at Global Freedom Solutions. The US LLC is often the best and most favorable company setup for many online entrepreneurs who are non-residents in the US, and essentially, if you fulfill certain requirements, the US LLC can be operated completely tax-free, and I have already made a video about this and I will also link it in the description. And the thing is that a lot of US LLC owners who are also non-residents in the US often have the problem of opening a bank account at a proper full-scale bank. And what many people don't know is that even non-residents of the US can open bank accounts in the US, and those who do know, however, usually make big mistakes and then fail to open a bank account in the US. There will soon be a video on what you need to consider when opening a bank account in the US for a US LLC, so definitely don't forget to subscribe to our channel. So one option that is rarely discussed online, however, is opening an offshore bank account with a physical bank, so not a fintech, for a US LLC outside the US. And in this video, I want to show you two countries where you can open an offshore account, what is required, how long it takes to open an account, and what else you need to consider. And both destinations have a very stable banking landscape and a strong economy, and are also crypto friendly. But again, crypto friendly does not mean that you can open an account and directly cash out millions of dollars. So you always have to build up a history first, which I also mentioned in previous videos. Let's now talk about destinations where you can open offshore accounts for US LLCs. And the first destination in which offshore accounts for US LLCs can be opened is Panama. And Panama, in fact, has the most modern and successful international banking center in Latin America. And Panama is relatively offshore friendly, and with the right contacts, personal accounts can be opened within 1 week, business accounts within 3 to 5 weeks. And the official currency of Panama is the Balboa, and the exchange rate of the Balboa has always been linked to the US dollar. For example, $1 equals exactly 1 Balboa. But Panama does not have its own paper currency and instead uses the US dollar as its legal tender. And this is also the reason why you always have a USD account by default when you open an offshore account for a US LLC. And one very crypto-friendly bank, for example, is Tower Bank. And if you go to the website, you will even see a separate section called crypto friendly. And if you look at the ratings at Fitch, for example, you will also see that the bank is very stable, which is something you should always pay attention to. And as a non-resident, you can open both personal and business accounts here. Another offshore friendly bank is Banesco, and this bank is also rated as very stable by Fitch. So let's talk about the requirements now. If you want to open an account with one of the two banks, you must provide certain documents and information, of course. First of all, the company documents, and these include the certificate or the articles of organization, the operating agreement, and the EIN, the employer identification number, which you hopefully applied for when you formed your LLC. Typical KYC requirements are the last financial statements of the LLC, but the thing is that many non-residents have a US LLC and do not prepare financial statements for the LLC, and in such cases, the bank often asks for a cash flow forecast for the next 12 months, and here you can then enter a range from conservative to optimistic. You then have to give the cash flow forecast to an accountant in Panama who certifies it or attests it, and then of course the bank will want general information, and for example what your business model is, and if you have a website, this is even better. And then all shareholders or members of the LLC will be required to provide a copy of their passport or identity card and proof of income, especially if the company has only recently opened, and this can be a certificate of income or tax returns, for example. And a very big advantage is that you can also open an account with power of attorney and therefore completely remotely, what many people don't know. And this in turn saves on flight tickets and local accommodation costs, of course. And this is also one of the reasons why Panama is very popular with our clients. Another destination with a very stable banking landscape, which by the way, according to data, is better capitalized than the Western banking landscape, and a very strong economy, is the UAE, or Dubai. And I can imagine that many people are looking astonished now, but you can actually open offshore accounts for US LLCs in the UAE with the right context, of course. And this is especially surprising because many entrepreneurs find it difficult to open an account even with Dubai companies. But yes, it is indeed possible, and the most important requirement is that the company documents must be attested by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in the country in which the company was established. As with all bank account openings in the UAE, you will be asked for bank statements, and usually from the last 6 months from the company, and if the company does not have one, then from you. As with every KYC process, the bank also wants to know the company profile, essentially what exactly your company does. A website can also help here, for example, or a list of buyers and suppliers if you are active in trade, for example, and otherwise an indication of where your customers actually come from. It also helps if you can provide the bank with a CV of yourself. Essentially, it is always good to show a lot of transparency with the bank in the UAE and Dubai, and the more transparent you are, the more trust you can build up. And when you now compare the duration for the bank account opening process, opening an account in the UAE and Dubai tends to take a little bit longer, between 4 to 8 weeks maximum. And then you have a multi-currency account with AED, Euro and US dollar, which is, in my opinion, one of the biggest advantages. And the UAE is also currently not on any gray or black list, as was the case in the past, and this makes international business and transactions much more convenient. And if you build up a history with the bank, you will also find a very crypto-friendly banking landscape in the UAE. So if you are interested in this topic, if you also have a US LLC and want to open an offshore account, feel free to contact me and click on the first link in the description. With that said, I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel. See you in the next one. Bye.